Hello everyone, now today I'm looking at this Chinese switch mode plug top power supply. It's a SF-989 generic unbranded Chinese power supply. Now most of these plug top power supplies that come from China are absolute death traps, so it's always a good idea if you've got anything like this to have a look inside and check the quality out. So I've just taken the screws out, as you can see there, so hopefully will come apart easily. I need a little tripod, so this is silly. There we go. Okay, let's have a look at this then. The solder onto the pins is not great. The one on the right there, it's got a decent blob of solder on it. The one on the left is sort of hanging on by a thread, so at the very minimum we have to resolder that. Let's have a look at the PCB. Now that doesn't look too bad. It's obviously done to a budget. It's, you know, cheap Chinese branded capacitors. See what there's like. Is that Unite? Not heard of those ones. It's kind of reasonable looking, you know. It's got a bit of weight to it. It's not like your usual cheap ones where they basically try and drop the voltage by a resistor and a capacitor. I can see some cutouts on the PCB. That's good. It looks like they're actually trying to isolate the mains voltages from the rest of the components. Let's have a look at the solder. Solder's a bit dull. Looks like they used a fairly cheap lead-free solder. But the most important thing basically is checking that the primary side, as in this side, is isolated from the secondary side. Now with the cheap ones, they never isolate them properly. They'll have literally, 240 volt components right next to the low voltage. Well, this one's a 5 volt. They'll have them right next to the 5 volt output. Now, as we can see, we've got. Oh, sorry, this camera's not focusing great on this at the minute due to lack of light. But basically, we've got the switch mode transformer, and we do have some cutouts in the PCB with the opto isolator separating the two halves. There's a safety cap there. It does look, let's get that to focus, it does look like they've actually made a decent effort to separate the voltages there. As you can see, there's a gap there between the primary and secondary side, and there is a cutout there between the opto isolator to increase the isolation. So other than that bit of dodgy soldering there, I think I would probably be happy to plug that into the mains and not worry about it too much. I suspect these capacitors will probably prematurely fail at some point, being cheap nasty Chinese ones, but that's not a bad attempt at a power supply for a generic branded Chinese one. So yeah, thanks for watching.